Writing as a process. Many people think that good writing flows out of the brain, into the fingers, and onto the page or screen. Nothing could be further from the truth. Professional writers know that writing, like any acquired skill, requires patience and persistence. Whatever we are composing, whether an email message or a proposal for a new business, the key to writing well is to consider writing a process rather than a one-shot deal. Your prose will be better and will take you less time to compose if you look at writing as a series of tasks. For those of you who suffer from writer's block or who shudder at the thought of writing, I can promise that if you break down writing into several component parts, the results will be better and you will feel less anxious. The task of writing can be broken down to 3 separate steps, for which I've developed an acronym, AWE, short for Assess, Write, and Edit. These 3 steps should be completed for every piece of writing that will be seen by another person. The only writing that doesn't require this process is personal writing. Step 1. Assess. Before you ever put your fingers on the keyboard or put pen to paper, begin by assessing the writing situation and define your audience and purpose. I advise making this step formal. Write down your answers. Knowing the audience, your reader, is imperative for successful writing. Writers need to be very clear about the end user because the language and style we use depends on who will read what we write. In essence, we have to psych out the reader to accomplish our writing goal. We cannot do that unless we analyze the reader accurately. Define the characteristics of your reader. Begin the audience analysis portion of the first stage of the writing process, assessing, by completing an audience profile template. The next part of assessing the writing situation is defining your purpose. The reason or purpose for writing in the professional world falls into 3 basic categories: informing, persuading, or requesting. Informative writing is a large category that includes generalized information, instructions, notifications, warnings, or clarifications. Persuasive writing makes an impression, influences decisions, gains acceptance, sells, or recommends. Requests are written to gain information or rights and to stimulate action. Unless you define the desired outcome of the written task, you cannot possibly achieve that task's objective. Are you writing an email in response to a customer complaint? Are you using social media to generate traffic to a website selling nutritional supplements? You must be clear about what you want your words to accomplish before you write. Sometimes you don't have all the information on hand that you need to write your document. Once you have defined for whom you are writing and what you want to accomplish, continue your analysis of the writing situation by gathering the information to produce the document. Sometimes that will entail conducting research. Sometimes you may just need to download information from your experience. Either way, have your information on hand before you begin to write. Nothing is more frustrating than being on a deadline to compose a writing job and realizing that you do not have the information you need. Audience characteristic, age, rationale. Writing for children differs from writing for adults or teens. Your tone, word choice, and medium may differ greatly depending on the age of the reader. Gender. Writing for an all-male audience will differ from writing for an all-female audience. Likewise, if the audience is mixed, you may make different language choices than you do for a homogeneous group. Language proficiency. The reader's knowledge of English will affect your word choice, sentence length, and other stylistic elements. Education level. You may be writing for an audience with a 10th grade reading level or one comprised of college graduates. Each audience will have different expectations and needs, both of which you as the writer must be aware. Attitude toward writer or organization. You must know if the audience is skeptical, frightened, pleased, or hostile toward you, the topic, or the organization. Anticipate your audience's reaction so you can write in a way that will support the document's purpose. Knowledge of the topic. A document may be